The night sky over Odessa, shattered Russia, unleashes hell. A swarm of killer drones raining death, fire, and fury on a sleeping city. But Ukraine strikes back drones of its own, tearing through Russian markets, turning cars and streets into battlegrounds. It's a drone war. No rules, no mercy. Now Russia vows vengeance after the deadly Oleshky market strike in a chilling display of aggression. Russia launched a large-scale drone attack on Ukraine's Black Sea port city of Odessa in the early hours of May 1st, killing 2 people, injuring 15 others, and leaving a path of destruction, according to Ukrainian emergency services and regional governor Oleshky. The attack damaged several apartment buildings, including a 6-story high-rise private houses, a supermarket, a school, and numerous vehicles, Reuters reported. Fires broke out at multiple sites, with emergency crews working to extinguish the blazes. Governor Kipper reported on Telegram that the barrage caused significant harm to civilian infrastructure, emphasizing the targeting of residential areas. Video shared by Kipper showed the battered facade of a high-rise, a shattered storefront, and firefighters battling flames. Among the dead was a railway worker killed in his own home. The attack also damaged railway tracks, Cat and 3 lines, and 3 freight cars. Though passenger trains continued to run on schedule in Kharkiv, Ukraine's second-largest city. A Russian drone struck a petrol station in the city center, igniting a fire. According to Mayor Ihor Turkot, explosions were also reported in Sumy. An additional drone and missile strikes targeted Donetsk and key regions, according to the media reports. The Ukrainian Air Force stated that Russia launched 170 strikes. Of these, 74 drones were shot down, and another 68 decoy drones were lost, likely due to electronic jamming. The fate of the remaining drones and missiles was not specified, but the scale of the attack underscores the ongoing threat to Ukrainian civilians and infrastructure. A Ukrainian drone attack on Kherson's Oleshky market killed at least 7 people and wounded over 20 on May 1, ABC News reported, citing the Russian-appointed official. The strike, which hit a crowded market around 9:30 a.m. Moscow time, was followed by additional drones targeting survivors, stated Moscow-appointed Governor Vladimir Saldo. At about 9:30 Moscow time in Oleshky, in the area of the Central Market, Ukrainian forces carried out a massive strike with 5 drones on civilians. At the time of the attack, there were many people in the market. Ukrainian drones dealt a devastating blow to Russian forces in April, smashing over 83,000 targets, an 8% jump from March. Commander-in-Chief Oleksandr Sisk revealed, units of unmanned systems achieved decent results. He wrote on Facebook, noting a 5% boost in damage efficiency. But Sisk didn't stop there. He called for even greater efficiency and scaling up efforts in the area of drones to dominate the battlefield. With every strike, Ukraine's drone warfare evolves, turning the tide with precision and power. In April, units of unmanned systems of the Ukrainian Defense Forces achieved decent results in destroying the enemy. The damage efficiency increased by another 5%. Today's high-tech warfare requires constant movement forward, even greater efficiency, and scaling up of efforts in the area of drones. Sisi also revealed he convened a monthly meeting with drone unit commanders to coordinate improvements and share frontline tactics. That Ukraine's Drone Line Initiative, launched in February, is accelerating battlefield deployment and integrating cutting-edge models like the Palio, Nazir, and Piccolo hybrids that use turbojet engines as cruise missile alternatives, the Kyiv Independent reported. According to media reports, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has set an ambitious target: at least 30,000 long-range drones produced in 2025, in a move heavy with symbolism and skepticism. Russian President Vladimir Putin on April 28th declared a three-day ceasefire in Ukraine from May 8th to 10th, marking the 80th anniversary of the Soviet victory over Nazi Germany. The Kremlin said all military operations would halt during the truce and called on Ukraine to follow suit. All military actions are suspended for this period. Russia believes that the Ukrainian side should follow this example in the event of violations by the Ukrainian side, that Russia's armed forces will give an adequate and effective response. However, Kyiv is far from convinced before the ceasefire was even announced. Andrei Yermak, chief of staff to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, said Russia is not ceasing fire at the front and is attacking Ukraine with showerheads right now. All the Russian statements about peace without ceasing fire are just plain lies. Russia is not ceasing fire at the front and is attacking Ukraine with showerheads right now. All the Russian statements about peace without ceasing fire are just plain lies. Zelensky, who met Trump in Rome over the weekend, proposed extending the truce to 30 days. But the Kremlin shot it down, calling it difficult to enter into a long-term ceasefire without resolving key issues. Difficult to enter into a long-term ceasefire without first clearing up a number of questions. Notably, Zelensky had branded Putin's unilateral truce as an attempt at manipulation, with trust eroded and drones still flying. Russia's ceasefire rings hollow to Kyiv, branded a manipulator, and the truce deepens. Distrust, not peace, as both sides trade blame and the West grows impatient. Even ceasefires now serve as weapons in a war where words are as loaded as missiles in the smoldering aftermath of the Alaska strike. Russia's message is clear: revenge is not a question of if, but when. The Kremlin, seething with fury, has vowed that those behind the attack planners, supporters, and enablers will face irrevocable punishment. The strike, which Moscow claims was designed to kill civilians on a holiday, has ignited calls for retribution from the highest levels. Officials aren't just blaming Kyiv. They're pointing fingers at the West, accusing it of fueling terror with every shipment of weapons. All those responsible and involved in the current barbaric attack in Kyiv will be identified and will be irrevocably punished by law. We call on the entire sane part of the international community and relevant multilateral organizations to strongly condemn this heinous terrorist attack. There is another bloody war crime committed by the Ukrainian Nazis against the civilian Russian population. It is obvious that the attack was deliberately carried out on a holiday when the residents of the city went shopping to maximize the number of victims and injured civilians. This atrocity has once again revealed the terrorist nature of the Kyiv regime, the focus of the current Ukrainian authorities solely on escalating the armed confrontation and disrupting any attempts at a peaceful settlement. The complete incompetence of the neo-Bandera clique was revealed again. Now whispers of response echo through military corridors as Russia prepares to answer blood with steel. Every act has a price, a senior official warned. And Oleshky may mark the moment Moscow abandons restraint. The world watches as Russia loads its arsenal not just with missiles, but with vengeance.